welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura. Today we are doing watercolor. I am making a watercolor book. I'm actually making the cover, and my cover will be a 9.5 by 8 3/4 is the cover, because I want to make a traveler's notebook, little cover thing that I could bring with me on my trip. So I am going to cover this with watercolor. I got this new set. It's called Metallic Accents by Art Philosophy by Prima. And I have not used it yet. And I bought this at Paper Source. So I want to see what this actually is going to look like on this paper here. So I want to do like swatches. It looks very metallic-y in here. I got my little new pottery that I bought at a crafts fair, and it's just filled with regular water, and I'm going to try to make something over here and just play along and see, make a swatch or something. I am not bringing this with me on my travels. However, I am bringing this one with me on my travels. So I maybe will do a swatch of this. This is from Adornit, and we'll do that as well. So let's make just cover this this is watercolor paper that I got. I'm just going to cover it and use some, maybe mix some colors or whatever with it. Let's see if I can move some stuff around so I have more room. Let's just go with every color. So I'm just going to mix it and see what I get. Okay, so I have some blue here. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's pretty. You can definitely see metallic on it. I just want to do like a swatchy thing. All right, so now let's change the colors. Let's go with the purple and see what happens. Got lots of color there. Ooh, how pretty. That is so pretty. You can actually see the metallic coming out of it. All right, so let's do the next color, which is this green. Get very light. And the next color is this one. It's kind of a green. I think I'm going to skip the white. And let's go to the next color. Let's skip the white one and go to this blackish color. Okay, the next color is a yellow. It's more like a gold. All right. The next one is a pink. And the gold is next. really see it. The color is very light. So the next one, which is another gold. And then there's a pink. It's like a bronzy color. And the last color is more of a darker brown as well. Not much color difference at the end. Okay, so if you could see the colors. Very similar colors, the last couple of ones. Very similar. Alright, so I may have to dry it. This green is starting to smear together. Alright, I want to do some splots, I think. I'm going to do some splatters in gold. Whoa, that's a lot of gold. And I got it mostly on my desk. Oh, there you go. More splatters. That's pretty neat. I have lots of splatters on there now. It needs more on the top. Let's get more gold. Doesn't want to go where I want it to. Nope, lots of splatters there. Alright, so I am going to dry this now with my heat gun. Okay, so now I have my cover. I scored it and I made a 1/2 inch spine here. So I scored it at 4 3/4 and I scored it at 5. And then it makes a cover for my journal, which I have pages here. They folded in half, and I want to put this in here, and then I'm going to stitch it. But first I want to draw on my cover. So this will be a little pamphlet thing. It is sticking out a little bit. So I need to make a closure, and I also want to draw on the cover. So let's do that first. I'll draw on my cover. I was thinking about this will be my cover, this side, and that will be my back cover. So I want to draw some butterflies on here. So I looked on Pinterest, and I'm going to draw some butterflies, hopefully. Let's see how this goes. So hopefully I am in camera. So I'm going to do a loop. And then a little loop. And in here is going to be like that. And then another loop. Not very evenly, but it's okay. Alright, so this will go up and around, and up and around. So there you go. I'm going to fill this in black. Okay, so that's one butterfly. It's okay. Let's try another one. This one is going to be a loop around and another loop. so that's that one. Let's do a full one with heart type wings. And this one has that and a head, and then a loop up and around, loop up and around, and the heart. Alright, so that's that one. Let's just color in the center. Alright, so now I need like a butterfly quote. Okay, so here's my front cover. It says, "Whisper words of wisdom, let it be," is the front cover. I did some more watercolor effects on the butterflies. And then on the back, I did this. I did a watercolor butterfly there, and it says, "Your journey is like no other. Your talents are unique to you. Your gifts can make a difference in ways others can't." So that's what I put on the back. So I did stitch this together. So I did a chain stitch notebook tutorial. So I did stitch it on the edge here. I am following a YouTuber called Vintage Page Designs, and that's where I got the tutorial for doing this. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to put the link to how to do this, because I am doing a class with her. So yeah, so now I have watercolor paper inside. I sewed the whole thing. Of course I made knots in mine, but anyway, here is the notebook in here. So it's all made out of watercolor paper. I'm going to take this with me on my trip. Now, here is my Cocoa Daisy journal that I'm bringing with me. It is a standard size, so that's why I made this standard size. I already have my notebook in here that I'm bringing to journal along in my trip. And then in here, it will fit right on the second. I have 4 strings, but I'm going to put it on one of the strings here and shove it in there so it's nicely stored. And now it fits nicely in my journal. It's hard to see here. It's nice to sit in my journal. It does fit in there. It's going to go away with me. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to use this watercolor thing. I'm going to pack this in my backpack. And I'm also going to bring the pens, the water pens with me so I could use this. Now, what I want to do also is I want to do a swatch in here. So here is, let's do a swatch now since we're doing the watercolor day. I want a swatch of all these colors. So let's do that now. So I'm going to go in each one. So let's do the top one first. I don't know if they turn off, they move around. So you can move them around and pop them off. So let's do that. With my water brush, and I'm just gonna do a swatch. Should I do it with my water brush or should I do it with, I'm going to do it with the water that I had here already set up. So let's use the big brush. Should I do a big brush, a 10, or a little brush? Let's do a big brush. All right, let's try this out. Wish me luck here. All right, so I just want to do a swatch of every color. So that's the blue. the green. There's many greens here. And yellow. All right. That is the first palette. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors. So that's the first palette. Now this thing, as I said, it pops off. So I'm going to move it. I just twist it off, and now I have another set of colors. So here is the next set of colors. So let's swatch those out. I'm going to use the same brush. Guess that's supposed to be black. All right, so I finished the next 6. And now let's pull another set of colors out. They twist. All right, so now I have another set of colors. And looks like I have orange. This is very wet. All right, so let's do orange. Red. Blue. And I did a big error. I made them too big, and I don't have enough to fit all of them because I still have 6 more colors. So I'm going to have to dry this to go on the back. Or you know what? I'm going to do it on the other side. This is watercolor as well. And the white doesn't really work very well. All right, so I have one more palette. Let's pull it out. I have this. And I'm not going to turn the page. I'm going to do it on this front cover thing. Let's do it over on this side. And I have 6 more colors to go. Okay. That's done. All right, so now they're all swatched out, and I have this on the first cover, and then I have all these colors on the next page. So I need to dry it before I could turn the page, The only thing is, like, okay, I'm going to bring this on my trip. I'm not bringing an air dryer with me. So, yeah, so this is going to be interesting. I can't bring a Hank going on my trip. Maybe I should make a whole bunch of pages with colors. And this way I could just draw on my trip. I don't know. All right, I'm going to heat gun this. Okay, I recently got these watercolor pencils from Adornit. And I am going to make a swatch. And I am going to take it out of this case because I can't really carry this on a transport. So I'm going to use Cocoa Daisy. I have this right now little case. I'm going to put all my pencils in here. I'm going to make a swatch type card. So and this is watercolor paper, and I'm going to store it with my pencils. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to swatch out each color and get rid of this casey thing because it's very hard to store in this thing. All right, so here we go. Here are the pencils. Unfortunately, they do not have any name or anything on the pencil. So like it doesn't say the color, there is no number. So I'm hoping that once I swap it on here, I'll be able to pick out the right colors, but we will see. So I'm going to do each one. So I got my swatches all done here, and I fit all my pens in my pouchy thing. Now I just opened up my watercolor pens. I was using an old watercolor brush that I got from, I probably Stampin' Up, but this is the one I always use. So yeah, I was using that one. So now I want to test out these new Adornit pens, which I just got. So I don't know how they're going to work. So I got another piece of watercolor paper here. And I'm just going to take some kind of color. Let's just grab any color here. And just... I just want to see what happens when I use the pen. So let's do that, and let's do a purple. Notice I pulled out my favorite colors. Alright, so that's 2, and now I need a third color. Let's do a pink. Well, this is like a red. Alright, so that's that. Alright, so I have 3 different brushes here. So let's try this big brush thing. This has like a big brush, and I put water in it. This one was very hard to fill. It has like a little tiny hole. I'll show you. It has this little tiny hole where you had to squeeze it and put the water in, where the other 2 were easier to fill. So it has a little bit of water in here. I've never used a brush type pen, so let's see what happens. Is the water even coming out? Yeah, it's a little bit wet. I think I gotta squeeze it a lot. I've never used a big brush like this before. It's coming out, but it's very lightly. I don't know. Oh, there you go. It's starting to smudge. All right, so to clean it, I'm just using a Post-it note to clean it. So let's do the purple. This would be great for on the go, I think. Let's do the red. I think that seems to work. All right, so now I gotta clean my brush. And let's make more colors, because now my brush is a little red there, but it's not, it's dry. Like it's not, no red's coming off of it. So it's just stained. But I don't have that much water in there, as you can see. I had to fill it better. Okay, so the next two brushes are like thin, like this. There's a brush here that's a little thick. And then this one is a very thin one. So I figured maybe I could draw something and color it in maybe. All right, so let's just do a flower. I'm just doing a simple flower. And we will try to use the pen to color it in. Leaves. All right, so that's good for now. All right, so let's color this in. Let's do a yellow center and purple flowers. And we'll do green leaves. All right, so that's purple, and then we'll do green leaves. All right, so now let's try to use these brushes and see what happens. All right, so I'm going to use the bigger brush. This is a bigger one. I did fill it up. I filled it up with water. And these brushes have a bigger hole to put the, there's no, you don't have to squeeze it. You just fill it in, which is pretty cool. All right, so they're very easy to fill. All right, so let's try. I already dropped some water on here. And I'm just going to activate it with some water here. This works really nice. All right, so I'm going to clean off the brush to get the purple off, and then do the yellow and clean off the brush. Actually, I like this one. All right, so that is done. I'm going to add some more color. I'm going to try the other pen. Let's do a darker. Do I have a darker green, or did I use the dark green? All right, so I'm going to put some, this is wet still. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm putting some highlights here. And let's put some dark purple. I'm looking for a dark purple. Let's put some dark purple here. I should have dried it first. It's still wet, so it's not coloring. All right, let's use the little pen and try to activate that. I don't think any water's coming out. All right. Out of the 3 pens, I really like this bigger one. The little one, I guess, is for detail. But not much water is coming out of this, and I did fill it. There is water in there. All right, so if I had to choose any of the pens, this middle one would be the one that I would use the most, probably. So that's that. So I'm sitting outside, and I'm sitting with Mila. I'm actually babysitting Mila right now. But I brought my pens outside, my pencils, and I just did this, just following a YouTube from Pinterest. I did an I love page with purple, and I just used my own handwriting. So it says my husband, my kids, my Shih Tzu, my Husky, coffee, the color purple, office supplies, thrift stores, craft stores, not having to cook for everyone, taking photos, hugs from my family, taking a nap, having my house cleaned, Snoopy, stitching, journaling, making journals, potato chips and dips, watching comedians stand-up comedy, drawings, and leather purses. So that's the first thing I did. I'm going to put this in my 100-day project. I also did this one, which is words matter, and I put joy, which is my word for the year, story, love, create, hug, live, dream, nap, laugh, blessed, family, journey, art, and shop. So those are using the watercolor pencils. I did both projects, which I'm going to probably make something on my page or make a pocket to store these. So I still have paper, so I'm still sitting out here waiting, and yeah, so maybe I'll do more. So I'm sitting outside and I saw this and I was like, oh, I have to make this. But I think I'm going to make her come alive in color. So I did her on watercolor paper. I tried to do my own doodles within, so it is different. The face is kind of the same, but I want to bring her to life. So I'm going to use my watercolor pencils and color her in, since I'm sitting outside waiting with Mila, and then I will share what it looks like after I color it in. Well, here she is, all colored in. I went with very vibrant colors. Yeah. So this is all done with Adornit colored pencil, watercolor pencils. Okay, here's my journal, and I made 3 of these watercolor things outside today. And I was thinking I could fit 2 on the page and then put 1 in my home journal, but it doesn't fit 2. They're too big. So what was I gonna do? So my other idea is to take the 2 and mount it on another piece of paper and have it fold. So it would fold on here. So this would fold this way, and this would fold, this will be on top of here. So it would flip out like that. And then I have this spot to journal. I also could journal on the, no, I could have that to journal. So I am going to try to make something that does this. All right, so I need, how big of a page? Or make hinges or something. So that was my idea. How big? I don't even know if I have a long enough paper. Where's the ruler? To do this. All right, so if this is, this is 3 3¾ and this is 3 3/4. All right, so what I have is 3 3/4, 3 3/4, and 3 3/4. And then I think this is probably the same because I cut the paper all the same, 3 3/4. So if I put it all together, 3, 6, 9. I wonder if a 12 by 12 would fit. I put it all together. Whoa, it's not fitting. 3 3/4, 3 3/4. It is going to be 11 inches. All right, so I'm going to get a piece of paper that's 11 inches. Okay, so I grabbed another piece of watercolor paper that I had. I'm going to glue this down to here, and then I'm going to score it. Where is the glue? All right, so I'm going to glue this down there, just using Tombow adhesive. All right, so I'm going to glue this here. Then I'm going to take my scoreboard and take my scoreboard. Okay, here is my scoreboard. And I'm going to score it at 3 1/4, which is here. All right, fold that down. All right, so now I'm going to glue this to here. Okay, so I have that going on. That folds. And now I want to score this. I'm going to score this at 7 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 7 and 7.5. I scored at 7.5. I need... Let's score it at 7 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. Okay. This is going to go like that. This is going to go like this. I'm going to glue this to this side. All right, so this is going to go here. Okay, so I left a little bit of a tab here, and it's going to flip like that. All right, so that is that. It's going to go in my book like that. I'm going to glue this down. I'm going to use double-sided tape to glue this part down. Or should I trim this first? I think I want to put something on here. All right, I will be right back. I'm going to put something here. Okay, I went to my stash and I have this really pretty ribbon. I don't remember where I got it, but I store it on this little clothespin thing right now. I glued it down with double-sided tape. I was going to sew it, but if I sew it, it's going to sew on top of the words, and I didn't want that sewn on there. So that's that. And then I'm going to use double-sided tape to put this into my book. So we'll put this aside, and we'll do that now. And then I could use it for journaling. Put the double-sided tape on. This is why my book gets fat and chunky, because I come up with these ideas. And just gonna line it up the best I could here. But look how pretty that page is. All right, so this pops out. Pretty neat, huh? But I have so much journaling room now. I have this two sides to journal, and I also have this side to journal in. And I also got to put the date. But that's pretty neat. Today is the 18th. I'm going to put the date on the bottom of the page. I just stamped it. Okay. So I did not want to waste the watercolor paper because the paper that I used to glue these onto were watercolor, and so it flips open like this, and I had 2 blank spots behind this, so I wound up doing 2 more images. So here are the 2 more images I did. I tried to draw a mojo. So there is we are getting an Australian Shepherd. It's mostly brown, so he has brown. He's mostly dark brown on the top and light brown on his paws. He has a little bit of white, so I left white there. He does have blue eyes, just like Mila. So I tried to draw him, and yeah, so that's that. And then over here, I did a house, and it says pause and find the blessings in today. So yeah, so that's watercolor. This does not flip open, but it does flip open that way. And then on this side, I journaled of how I did the pages outside while I was sitting with Mila. So it's time to spin the wheel. And we are doing fabric and ribbon tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in another video. Bye.